This conference will now be recorded.
What is a partition? Raghu? Rishabh, am I audible?
Yeah, Ravi, partition is a collection of data in different nodes present in the Spark framework. And
Mhm. Suma?
collect logical representation of the partitions is known as RDD.
Okay. How the partitions will be created? How the partitions will be created?
It depends on the way, it depends on the type how we create RDD.
Mhm. Okay, let's do a couple of examples today. I see that only E4 joined. I'm expecting a couple of people to join back, but no problem. Let's do some basic programs. Okay, first try to understand what is RDD. I think by this time you guys are very well know what is RDD. So we have seen an examples and we discussed about it, right? Let me share my screen. Let me know once my screen is, if you are able to see my screen. Is my screen is visible?
Yeah, it is, Ravi.
Okay. Okay. So as we discussed earlier, RDD is a RDD is a collection of partitions. What is RDD? Yeah, by the time others join, let's talk of recap. What is RDD? And also I have told you guys, if you don't know or if you have some confusion, you directly open where is that? This you can directly open this API, directly open this API and try. You will get the most of the classes definitions will be here. Okay, so RDD is a the base, the first abstraction object in Spark, the base abstraction, the base abstraction, okay, which represent immutable partitioned collection of elements. Yes or no? When we say elements, it's a data, guys. Okay, don't assume that's something different. Okay, and where it is immutable, it's a cacheable, it has operations like transformation and actions, which is a lazy evaluated, right? We have discussed about all these things. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yeah, Ravi.
Guys, why I'm repeating this thing repeatedly? The reason behind repeating RDD, because it's a very, very, very frequently asking interview question. I'll simply show you. Yesterday, one interviewer, some interview questions. Look at here. Can you please create a Spark session? Specify the master as local. Once the Spark session is instantiated, can you configure the Spark? I mean, look at the questions how they are. Look at the some questions. After writing this, he asked what is local here. What is local? After that, he asked how to get all the configuration. Let's look at the second question. Assume you have a file in some HDFS. Implement the word count program. After writing that, write the output in the outer format. After see the questions how they are. Whatever we are discussing, the questions are there in that discussion only. The interview questions are there in our discussion only. If you follow closely, you will be able to crack interview easily. That was the reason I used to tell. So most of the cases I have seen the students crack, they get a jobs before they complete the course. In our discussion only, we'll have a lot of interview questions. This is a coding questionnaire, coding interview test. This is coding interview for one of our student. So please concentrate and follow what we discussed. Yeah, please tell me what is the RDD? What is the RDD? Still, it has been 4-5 days. We started it. Still, we are at the RDD only. How slowly we are discussing. By this time, the RDD should have completed. We could have started something else. And when I ask what is RDD, still we have a blank faces. Okay. I feel it's not the right way to prepare. Okay. So try. What is the advantage of the RDD, Rishabh? What are the advantages of RDD?
Yeah, it is lazy evaluated,
Mm-hmm,
fault tolerant,
mm-hmm.
uh,
It's in-memory
And
processing,
in memory
immutable,
processor. If
and
data is
partition,
suitable, it is in partitioned. Yeah.
parallel, process the
Parallel
data
processing.
parallelly. Yeah. Okay. Let's see the next example. Let's say a simple example. The example which I'm going to show you is we are going to do a basic operations on RDDs. I hope you guys are very much clear about what we discussed in the last session. Okay, the regarding the partition. Okay, I want to everyone this one. Okay, so partitions is how it will get created. I hope everyone is clear about it. Okay, okay, let's see. In RDDs, guys, there are a lot of transformation and actions. Lot of transformation and actions. I'll give one list, okay, where we will have a list of transformations where we can execute. So now I'm going to show you a simple uh, I mean I'll be a simple program where we will be applying some transformations. Okay, let's do that. um, basic transformations demo. Start main method. Start main method. Now, so far we have seen different ways to create an RDD. Different ways to create an RDD. First one is, can anyone tell me what is the first way?
Parallelize.
Using parallelize method. Let's create an RDD. Well, first we'll prepare data. See, most of the cases we can directly use the data, but I am always interested to give step by step. And you will be seeing, see, what are the transformations we have applied yesterday, right? This all can be applied in the single line. This all can be applied in the single line, but I always uh, go by one because it gives the clarity, um, and readability is easy. Okay, but if you are really writing in the code programming, or if you're writing in the exam, or I mean to say in an interview, you can write it in a single line. Okay, you really no need to write line by line. Okay, because I need to explain you guys, I'm writing like that. Array, you can take 1 2 3. Okay, I already have, right? I'll just copy that. I'll make use of that. I'll just make use of this. Some number, because why I'm taking more numbers, I want to show how it will create. Okay, let me break this. Okay, instead of this much bigger one, let me break this. Okay, now I have a data. Now I need to create a RDD. Can anyone tell me steps? I now I have a data. Now I need to create a RDD. What are the things I need? What are the things I need? What
Spark
are the
say.
things I need? Yes, I need a Spark
Uh,
session. Val, Spark. You can give any name, guys. I'm just giving Spark. Okay. Spark session dot Spark session dot builder dot app name basic transformations dot master. Master, I'm giving local. I can give star. I can give whatever it is, but I'm giving star dot. If you want to enable, if you want to enable any of your Hive support, you can enable. If you want to set the configurations, look at here. If you want to set the configurations, you can set the configuration dot conf and your configuration key and configuration value. Configuration key and configuration value. So dot conf. So let's say this is an example. Let's say I want to set this configuration, some memory, some executors memory like that. So dot conf, this is the key, this is the default one, and we'll specify this. Or yesterday we have seen there is a Spark default parallelism. You can give that config here, and you can give the default value, whatever you want to give. Okay. but now I'm not going to show that. I'm just going to this. I got the Spark. So if I want to use the parallelize method, I need to use the parallelize method in Spark context. So what some people will do, don't get confused. What some people will do, some people directly create like this RDD equal to Spark context dot parallelize, and they will give they'll pass data like this. This is also correct. This is also correct. But some people, what we do, people like me, for the clarity, nothing else. Okay, I'll create a SC variable separately. I'll create a variable name called SC. I will do like this. I'll do like this. Okay. Now let's see the default number of partitions. Can anyone tell me how many partitions will be there here? Can anyone tell me how many partitions will be there here?
It will depend on the number of cores.
Okay. So I'm going to run this program. Let's look at. It's loading actually. Hmm. How many partitions? 8. Because how many cores are there in my machine? Those many. In my machine, I have 8 cores. Okay. Some people, what they do, there is an alternative way. Here itself, if you see this parallelize method detailedly, if you see this parallelize method, okay, this also, that's what I'm showing from source code. Parallelize acts lazily if sequence of data, sequence means sequence of data, is a mutable collection of alter after the sum. So if you observe this parallelize, actually it has collection of data which you need to give number of slices. Number of slices. What is the number of slices? The meaning of number of slices? Number of partitions. Number of partitions. Let me show you here. Now I did like this, right? Instead of this, if I write like this, instead of like this, if I write like this, can anyone tell me, how many partitions will be created now?
4.
4 partitions. Because I have explicitly specified here. How many partitions has to be created. The parallelize method you can see here. Your parallelize method. Sequence means you guys know what is a sequence, right? We have discussed this very recently, a few days before, and we discussed in Scala. Number of slices. Okay. Then it knows that what is the way it has to create a RDD and all. This is other stuff. Okay. Taking this and it is actually extending, and it has its own thing. That's not our thing. Okay. So what it is does. Okay, let's run this one. Normally, I used to explain in the console Spark shell that was quick and easy, but no, let's write the programs and everyone will be Okay. Okay, there is an alternative way to create an RDD by loading the data. You guys are already aware that. I will take this one example. I'm taking this as example. Load data from file. No matter which location it is. No matter whether it's in HDFS, whether it is data in local file system or S3 or whatever it is, no matter. Okay. Now, what this text file will do? What this text file will do? This text file will return content of the data, content of the file that will convert it into RDD. That will convert it into RDD. Now, how many partitions for this RDD? Can anyone tell me? How many partitions for this RDD? By using text file I loaded, right? How many partitions will be created? Any cases? No, 2. That's what we discussed in the last session. This is not the parallelize operation, right?
Yeah, it would depend on the size of the file, the block sizes,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So it depends on the size of the file. If anything comes, local file systems block size is 32 MB. Local file system block size is 32 MB. So my file is not there. It's not that much bigger. You see some KBs. So it is a lesser than 32 MB. If it is a lesser than 32 MB, default number of partitions are 2. If it is a beyond 2 partitions, if anything comes under less than 2 partitions, it will go with the 2. You guys know, right? Which is a bigger, whichever is greater, it will go that. This configuration, I think we discussed yesterday, this configuration. Okay. Okay. This is the one. Okay. Let's move. Any questions so far? Text file will return you content of the file. And there is something called whole text files. There is something called whole text files. Let me show you that. Let me make use this only. It's actually what's called a whole text file RDD. Whole text files RDD. Okay, let me return this. Let me write this. Okay, so to see the difference, text file RDD dot collect dot mm, I'll show you here in the console. I can write a for each, but I just want to show you. We got the content, right? Content RDD of string. If I do same thing with the whole file, if I do same thing with the whole file, whole text file. You look at here, look at the difference. It is a RDD of string comma string. RD of string comma string. Try to understand that difference. If I do text RDD, the first one, dot collect, if I do, you will get complete text. Dot is a. Similarly, if I do whole RDD, try to remember guys, this is also required. Collect. If I do whole RDD collect, you look at the difference. It is just directly printed the content, but a whole RDD, first what it is printing? First what it is printing?
File location.
File name.
Yeah, name.
Okay,
Yeah.
file name with the path. File name with the path, right? And content. The whole text file method will return file path or file name comma content. File name comma content. Try to remember this guys, this is important. So when to use a whole text file, when to use the text file, we'll need to understand. Sir, you are giving direct file path. If I give a directory, what will happen, sir? Any guesses? I'm giving a file path directly till and till dot txt dot csv, like that I'm giving. So if I give directory, what will happen? Okay, let me give this as a path. Okay, I have all, but I have documents also, but let's see what will happen. This is my file path. If I give till directory, what will happen? Can I know any guesses? No problem. There is no wrong in guessing, right?
Error.
One error. Okay,
Probably
anyone else?
it will read all the files as the string, comma string, like that.
Okay, let me show you. Okay, I'm giving a directory here. For more clarity, I will execute in the terminal. Don't worry. I'll execute in the here. It's not closed properly. Something.
After Spark programs, there should be double slash. It's last.
Double slash. We missed double slash. Nothing else. Okay. What happened? Did it return error? Does it return error? No. It read the whole data. RDD 2 dot get num partitions. Get num partitions. $35 partitions. Any guesses why 35 partitions? Any guesses
35
why
different
35?
files.
Are the 35 different files?
Yeah, not actually 35 different files. If you look at here, there are 33 files, and one of the file is a bigger file where you got the more number of partitions, maybe somewhere here. Okay. If you want to know clearly, instead of giving this much bigger path, let me give a simple path. Anyone has any? Okay, two files I have. Okay, let me give this path. Okay, two dot get num partitions. Three partitions is come. Three partitions. Why three partitions? Is there any bigger file?
It would have the path also in the first one. One partition.
No, no, no. One second, I'm missing something. Look. They're all small files only. Two partitions. Yeah. Any guesses why two partitions? Three partitions.
Is it because of the XLS file?
Not because of XLS file. Okay. So when we load the data as per the default configuration, if I load one file also, it's coming two partitions, correct? If I load first file, how many partitions will come? Whichever is larger, right? Either two partitions or more. Are you guys getting?
Yeah,
First, if I load one file, forget about other file. If I load one file, I'll get one partition or two partition.
two part.
I'll get two partitions, and it's loading one more file. It's loading one more file, but that file is fit into one partition. So 1 plus 2, total 3. 3 is greater than 2. Are you guys getting? I know it's a little confused. As per this, total number of cores or all executor nodes are 2, whichever is larger. But that is for parallelize. That's what I have explained yesterday. That's for parallelize. For the file read, if you are reading from the local file, 32 MB is the block size. Correct? This is what we discussed yesterday. Let's say I have given a directory. First, it has a multiple files. It first pick the first file. File 1 is loaded. The file 1 size is 2 KB. How many partitions will come? I'm talking about only one file. If I load one file, how many partitions will
Two
come?
partitions.
Two partitions. Just now only we verified. Two partitions will get. Two partitions. Next, another file is loading. File 2 is loading. That file also is hardly 10 KB. So that's the size of that file also 10 KB. If the first file is not there, this files, how many partitions will come?
Two partitions.
Two. But the two partitions are already there in the system. Two partitions are already there in the system. So this file fall under single block. This file falls under single block. Yes or no? So one partition will come. So one partition will come. So total how many partitions? 3. You guys got the logic behind it? Do you guys understand the logic behind it?
Yeah.
When it first load the first file, 2 partitions. When it load the next file, it actually should take the 2 partitions. But why it took only 1 partition? Because 2 partitions are already there in the system. Already there in the system. I mean in the RDD. 2 partitions plus 1, 3 partitions. So T is greater than 2. 3 is greater than 2. That's the reason it is considered 3 partitions. Is this clear to everyone? Yes? No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Next. This is with the text file. If I go with the whole text file, what will happen? If I go with the whole text file, what will happen? How many partitions I'll get? How many partitions I'll get? What happened here? Why text file has a different behavior and whole text file has a different behavior? Because here it consider everything as
Single.
everything is considered as a single. Okay, everything is considered as a single. What happened to other file? Oh, it's a dot dot dot. Okay, it has other file also. Okay, the whole text file, the behavior of the whole text file, let me show you that. Okay, if you go to this method, whole text file, this is how we learn more, guys. Okay, going through the APIs, we learn a lot more. Instead of learning from books and blogs, this we learn more. Look at here, read a directory of a text files from HDFS, a local file system, either HDFS or local file system, okay, available on the nodes, or any Hadoop supported file system URI. Each file is read as a single record and written in a key value pair, where the key is the path of each file. The value will be the content of each file. This point is clear, I hope, right? I have already shown this one earlier. Okay, next, for example, if we have a following files in a directory, you can see this is a single directory, a HDFS path, part. I have these many files. Okay, val RDD spark context dot whole text files, and I have given the path. Then RDD contains, look at here, guys. Then RDD contains file path and its content. File path and content. File path and content. Small files are preferred. Large file is also allowable, but may cause bad performance. On some files, the path can be more efficient way to read all files in a directory rather than like this. You are giving a path, kind of a star we will give, wildcard entry kind of thing. Okay, partitioning is determined by data locality. This may result to too many partitions by default. Okay, so we are looking one by one. Directory to the input files, the path can be comma separated. Paths can be the listed input. The suggestion value of the minimal splitting number of input data. How many partitions will come? Minimum partitions. It will club hold the data, guys. and how many partitions will come, those many. It is not actually considering your default partition mechanism. I need to give two, I need to give two, one is smaller than two, two is greater than one. It's not considering that. Collect all the data, how many splits come, those many partitions. Okay, the RDD represent tuple of file name and its corresponding content. So you can see here, if you if you club all the data, if you club all the data, how many splits will come? Only one split. You won't get much, right? This is very small size, no? 2 KB, 32, 30 KB, 32 KB. 32 KB is lesser than 32 MB. So one split. Is this clear? If you want to do the same thing with the other data set what we have read, you can also look at here. These are all comes with an experiments, guys. These are all you can learn with an experiments. RDD2 dot get num partitions. The whole data is fitting into two partitions. The whole data has been clubbed. After clubbing whole the data, how many partitions will come? Those many only. Okay. RDD dot collect for each. Can anyone tell me what I have done here?
Printing the values? No, the name of file.
I'm printing only content, not sorry, file names. So what it written? Tuple, correct? It written tuple. Yes or no? The whole text file written tuple only, no? File name and content. That's what we learned, right? Yes or no, guys?
Yes, sir.
The whole text file returns file name comma content. So I'm interested on the only file names. I want to print the list of the paths, the list of the paths. So RDD2 dot for each. RDD2 means this one. For each element, element represent what? Complete row, right? Complete row. File name comma content. So I know that it's a tuple. I'm taking the first position of the tuple. First position of the tuple. Okay. That's the reason I have printed all the things. Same thing I can do with the second position. If I do second position, it will try to print the content of it, because some PDF files are there, some text files are there, some XMLs are there, all this stuff. That's the reason you're seeing this extra symbols and other stuff. Are you guys following me?
Yes, Ravi. Yeah, follow.
Yeah. So when we're getting into detail, it looks little harder, but try understand. Any questions? Anyone has any questions? As I'm going in detail of every API and I'm showing that things. So please go through. Suppose, okay, you may ask, sir, how you get this information, sir? From where you get this information? Once you set up, just write, that method name, hold control. When you hold the control, it will give like this, and select or press. It will just take you. Or if you want to go through, click here. You need to click on context object. Spark context. Go to Spark context. And whichever you want to search, you can directly search here, guys. Once the Spark context is created, open. So I was showing you text file. Text file. I was talking about make RDD in the previous few days before. This is the make RDD. Okay. Anyway, let me show that I'm interested on this one, right? Text file. PQRST. Text file. And you want to know more about the whole text file. Whole text file. You can read this. The whole text file. You can read this information. Same information, guys. Nothing else. Okay. Whatever the information I have shown in IntelliJ, same information only is there in your browser, which is your API. This is your API. I told you, right? Star wildcard entry, wildcard. What I can say, wildcard allow. But here, since it's not actually shown star. Here it is a star. I told you, no. Why slash star will give instead of giving all the path. If you give, you can give the star also. You can give the star also. No problem at all. Like this. Any questions? This is the more efficient way, giving star. So here I did like this, right? I also actually did complete folder. If you do like this, so more efficient. That's what the example is saying. So more efficient. That's what is an example saying. Okay. Any questions, guys? So I'm showing you how to read, how to prepare your own. Next, quickly, a couple of methods today I will explain. Then we'll close the session. Okay, let's discuss about. There are two type of operations. There are two type of operations which we will perform on. There are two type of operations which we will perform on RDD. Can anyone tell me what is the two type of operations? What are the two type of operations we perform on RDD? One is transformation and actions. One is transformation and action. One is transformation and action. Can anyone tell me what is a transformation?
Is it Levy evaluated
Mm-hmm.
immutable operations? RDD from another RDD.
Mm-hmm. Guys, anyone else? I have explained this. Okay, don't say that I didn't say. I have explained it. Transformations are it. I can say it return. They are lazy evaluated and they return another RDD. They return another RDD. Transformations will return another RDD only, right? Right? Transformations are return another RDD, but actions, what actions does?
Returns
They
a value.
return a value.
It return a value. It return a value. Transformations are lazy operations. These operations return another RDD. The actions are actual operations who trigger competition and return value. Okay, so let me just putting the comment here. returns whole text file API returns file path comma content as a tuple. We need to remember this. Okay. Operations on. I will not ask again the same question again. I want everyone. One is transformations. I have given the notes also last time. I think everyone make a note of it. Action. What is a transformation? What is a transformation?
It returns another RDD and it's lazy evaluated.
Transformations are lazy operations and it's immutable. Lazy operations immutable and it return another RDD. Please make a note, guys. This will help. Actions are operations to compute, to trigger compute. Operations are actions are operations to compute and return value. RD transformations returns another RDD, but actions returns a value. That's the difference. Okay. Okay. So I'll explain two operations now. Then we'll wind up the session. So I may take 5 more minutes extra today. Okay. The first transformation which I'm going to show you is map. Okay. So the first transformation which I'm going to show you is map. Map transformation. What is the map transformation? Map is a method which come from actually Scala. Okay, it is not a method in Spark. It is a method which we actually have in a Spark collections. Okay, so the main purpose of the map is when you have a collection of data, read element by element, they apply any complex operations like whatever you want to do. Okay, whatever the operation you want to do, you can do any operations. Okay, let's take an example. The last example only. Okay, so if you take here, I did an operation to create a tuple with a map. I'll talk about the flat map later. Let's talk about this. I created a map. I taken the element, then I created a tuple. It's one kind of operation. Okay. Similarly, here I taken a map operation to convert to do the what I can say to do the some functionality. Date format. Actually, we are changing some date format. This is we have a local date and other stuff. Okay. This is one operation. This also applies by what I can say record by record. Okay. Similarly, I'll show you different operations what you can apply. Reverse string. I did map. you are taking one element and you are creating a tuple. I already shown it earlier above. So the map is what do you understand? The map is a transformation which you take element by element and apply a functionality, an operation. Are you getting that point? Are you getting this point? When you have a collection, it will take element by element. So people will ask in interview what is a map, what is a flat map. Map is a transformation which it read element by element and applies the transformation on element by element and returns if it read one element, it return one output. Most of the people will call it as one-to-one mapping. 1:1 operation means one input, one output. It will not return multiple outputs. It will not return collection of output. You take one input and return one output. For example, look at here. I have an RDD, no? I have RDD with 1 to 35. So I want to take only I want to take only even numbers from this RDD. Only even numbers from RDD. Can anyone tell me the solution for this? Anyone, guys? What is the operation will apply?
Element divided
Into two.
by 2.
Sorry?
ELE
So
module 2 is equal to 0.
want to do like this?
Yeah, so it will print all the even number.
Let's see. It'll return or it'll does something else. Let's look at here. So you want to give double equal or just equal? You want to give double equal or just equal?
Double equal.
Double equal.
Counters.
Okay. Even nums dot collect. What it is? True, false, false, true, true, something. What is this?
It is returning the output in Boolean. Suppose if 1 is divided by 2, since 1 is odd number, so it is giving as a false.
Okay. Now tell me then how can I
We can put if condition if
any guesses? What it does? It is not, so wherever it is not matching, it will give in the empty parenthesis, right? So in Scala, empty parenthesis is nothing but what? Empty parenthesis is nothing but what? Empty parenthesis nothing but what? Any guesses?
It's the empty tuple.
Not empty tuple. Okay. Since it is return value, right? It tells that unit. You guys heard about a unit? Unit. Even we write a main method will write unit only, right? Return type.
Yes.
I see a lot of silence. I don't know whether people are able to follow or not. Yes, no.
Yes.
Let's do one more operation. Okay. Here it's actually, this is nothing but unit. Unit means, okay, let me show you that. What is the return type? Unit. In Scala, the unit represents nothing you are returning. That's called empty parenthesis. Empty parenthesis. Or you can simply use a filter. Okay. But here my intention is to show show map operation. So that's the reason I did that way. Okay. Okay. So you can just use a filter. Filter can help you. But if you do only LE modulo by 2 equal to 0, it will tell whether it's a true or false. It will say whether true or false. Okay. So you can also do one more way. Here, if condition you have written, right? Else 0. Okay. Now it will happen, 0, 2, 0, 4, 0, 6, 0, 8, like that it will print. Because you need to tell, if the condition satisfy, you are telling that go with the number. If the condition not satisfy, what I need to do? The condition is not satisfy, what I need to do? That is the reason it is giving you empty brackets. If it is nothing is returning, it means unit. Nothing is returning, it means unit. Understand, guys? If nothing is
Yeah.
returning, that means unit. That is the reason you got the empty parenthesis. That's the reason you got the empty parenthesis. Is this clear? Yes, no?
Yes.
Ravi, is there any way that we can print only the even numbers, not the units or like zeros?
You see? Yeah, you can do with a filter. You can do with a filter. You can do with the filter, but what I told the condition, 1:1. The map, the thing is that 1:1. It will take one input, it will return one output. It will not skip the output, or it will not return so many things. That is the reason. That is the reason it is taking one input. Either it has to return empty, or it has to return 0, or it has to return something. Try to understand the map transformation. Okay, because it's the most important. Your map transformation will read. See, whatever the data, this is nothing but an array, guys. Okay, even your RDD also array. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on 30. You consider as a 35 elements. Your map method, what it does, it takes the first element and checks whether it's even number or not. If it is not even number, what I need to do? I cannot skip. Either I have to return something, either 0 or something. So that's the reason map method will apply on each and every element. Map method will apply on each and every element by element. But element by element. The map method will be apply operation on element by element and returns one output. It means it takes one element and returns one output. It never return array of elements. It never return array of elements. If it take one, return one. It take another element, it take another one output. For example, an example. Okay, RDD dot map. I want to increment each and every element by 10. So try to understand here. Try to understand here. It is taking every element and returning one element. So it's taking the first element 1 and into 10. 1 into 10, 10. So return one element only. Yes or no?
Yes.
Element 2 into 10, 20. Element 3 into 10. Element 4 into 10. So like that, it takes one element, returns one element. It takes one element and returns one element. FlatMap I'll explain tomorrow. FlatMap is one-to-many operation, guys. FlatMap is always one-to-many operation. The FlatMap signature itself, it tells that one-to-many. Okay. What it does, it takes one element, but returns collection of elements, iterable of elements. It takes one element, but returns iterable of elements. Return a new RDD by first applying the function to all elements of this of RDD and then flattening. I'll explain what is the flattening. Flattening means grouping single. You see the signature. Okay, first we see the signature. Flat map. It takes the element and traversable of this. You take one element, but it should be traversable means collection of elements. Traversable means collection of elements. You can see the map. You take one element and returning a single element. In interview, people will expect this answer only. When they ask, what is the difference between the map and the flat map? Sir, map returns a new RDD by applying a function to all the elements one by one. It read one element, return one element. And read one element, return output as one element. It's like 1:1 mapping. Like 1:1. But a flat map, it also reads element by element. It also reads element by element only. But the return value is what? Look at here, guys. Traversable of element. When you say traversable, it's a collection. I think who attended our Scala session, they know. Traversable means obviously collection. And it does the flattening. Flattening means very simple, guys. Flattening means, suppose if I have a group of 3 groups are there. 3 different groups are there. Flattening means what, you know? Breaking everyone and keeping a single group. 3 groups are there. Let's take an example. A comma B comma C, 3 groups. A group, A has a 10 people, B has a 10 people, C has a 10 people. So it's the 3 different groups it is. But when you do the flatten, all 3 will be mixed as a single group. All 3 will be mixed as a single group. That's called flattening. We'll see in detail an example in the next session. If you guys have any questions, please ask me. Else we can leave for the day. Yeah, I see that most of them are already left. Okay, since it took more time. Any questions? Varsha, Suma, Raghu,
No,
Mahit,
Ravi.
Praneeth. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Have a wonderful day. So that's it for now. We'll connect in the next session.
Thank you, Ravi.